everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Adam, this is Van City Audi, and it's about time, guys, we get that dual pulley action on my B8 S4. I'm back at Ryder Performance. This has probably been the biggest question that I received since I purchased this vehicle. Adam, when are you going dual pulley? When are you going dual pulley? It's about time. I've gone through the ranks, stage 1, stage 2 single pulley, and now time for the dual pulley. We're just gonna do a quick install. There are a ton of videos out there on the install already, so we're just gonna go through little bits and pieces. Then I'm gonna flash the car over to the stage 2 dual pulley 93 octane file from Integrated Engineering using their PowerLink system, and then we're gonna go for a drive, data log it, and see how the car is running on this tune. Let's get to the install. Now that Kyle has removed those 8 OEM bolts from the crank pulley, here they are up here, just these little guys. We're going to be throwing in these much longer extended bolts from Integrated Engineering because their press-on is going to fit right over top of the OEM pulley, and we're going to increase that supercharger ratio. So Kyle's removed the OEM crank pulley. There it is in all its glory. The mark for where we have to line up the one offset bolt that goes into it, and now we're just getting the sight underneath because we have to grind off that post in order to be able to fit the larger press-on pulley from Integrated Engineering. So Kyle has all those bolts tightened on the new Integrated Engineering crank pulley, 20 Newton meters plus another 90 for those for the torque spec. Now we have to put on this brand new belt from Integrated Engineering as well, now that that crank pulley is that much bigger. Front end is completely back on the car. The install of the dual pulley is completely done. I shouldn't say dual pulley, I should say crank pulley. The only way you'd know is by seeing this belt no longer has the Audi rings on it. If you can see way down there, you can see those 8 different bolts that are all shiny. That is from the actual crank pulley itself. Now, we're gonna have to upgrade the spark plugs. I choose to use Brisk DR12S in my car. I've had a great success using Brisk racing plugs in my RS3, and I'm going to continue to use them now in my B8 S4 as well. So the only difference, or the main difference I should say, between these Brisk racing plugs and the NGKs, which are in there already, are these plugs are actually silver, whereas the NGKs are iridium. So you're going to need to replace these plugs more often than you would the NGKs. So why I wanted to point out what spark plugs I'm using in this video is because a lot of people don't realize just how hot these run, especially when you start bumping up the ignition timing using E30, or in my case, I'm sure eventually I'll be running the E40. You can see how white the tips are, meaning they are running quite lean and really, really hot. Look at that. So these are the OEM plugs that it calls for. I forget what they are, the BR8XI or whatever they are, but these are the OEM plugs, and you can see just how white and how hot they got on the stage 2 single pulley tune already. Just wanted to give everybody the heads up that with these new Brisk racing plugs, we are gapping them at 26 thou. Spark plugs are in, install is done. Give it a little bit of a spit shine, because why not? Time to tune the car with the PowerLink system from Integrated Engineering.
Here we are using the Flash Wizard inside the PowerLink cable software. You highlight engine, you highlight double pulley. You're going to scroll down until you get to the 93 octane file. Right underneath that, there's going to be a whole list of hardware that you're going to need in order to make the advertised power numbers that Integrated Engineering offers. The big ticket item there for me is making sure your intake air temps are less than 70 degrees Celsius. They remind you again there. And then you're going to have to use whatever credits are needed to purchase depending on where you are, whether you're stage 1, whether you're stage 2 and you're just upgrading. Past that, it's as simple as downloading the tune off of the server from Integrated Engineering, and then you load it up on your ECU and you are good to go.
Car's tuned. Now for the first start. Let's hope it starts. Remember guys, when you freshly tune your car, your B8S4, you want to hold down the start stop button and not just push it once, or else sometimes it won't start. So I'm holding it down. Started. Didn't blow up. Things are looking good. Let's get out there and log it. So I've driven around now on the back roads for about 15 to 20 minutes. I had to let the car adapt because I was running the E30 tune, meaning I had 30% ethanol in my tank. I cannot obviously run that high a blend with this tune. So I filled up with regular pump gas to take that ethanol content below E20. I'm sitting at about E19 right now. For those of you that are familiar with the channel, you know that locally we have terrible quality pump gas. So I always make sure I have a bit of ethanol mixed with my pump gas to make sure I'm getting the most out of my cars. Now that it's had time to adapt, let's get to a log. Third gear pull. Gear shift and we're good. Slow down, take it up to 7th. Now I'll pull over, get a hotspot on my cell phone, and let's review that log.
Here's the log of that third gear pull, and we'll start off with the ignition correction, which is 0 across all 6 cylinders. We know the fuel that I have in the tank is up to par and no timing is being pulled. It is pulling nice and strong, and that is exactly what you want to see. The next thing I'm going to review is the boost the car is making. Boost spec versus boost actual. Actual is the pink line of the type of boost that your car is physically making. As we can see up top here, the car is still making a ton of boost. I am actually overshooting the boost limit like I was on stage 1. Let's see if we have the bypass valve opening. I imagine we do up top. There it is right there at 7,000 RPM. We see the bypass valve open ever so slightly. I feel like I actually felt it on this run as well. So not the end of the world. We'll see what the car does when it's had some more time to adapt. Last thing I'll check on is the intake air temp to make sure it didn't skyrocket and we're seeing between 60 to 70 degrees. There we are, 62.25 degrees, well within reason. We know the car is working well, and so far, so good.
Well, with logs like that, I'm thinking the car is running rather well. 0 ignition being pulled across all cylinders, making a ton of boost. I'm thinking things are looking pretty good. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Stay tuned to the channel. I will be taking this car back to Racing Greed to dyno this tune, the 93 octane tune, as well as the 91 tune to showcase what the difference is power-wise between the 2 octane levels. Past that, I'll also be getting you another quarter-mile time to showcase what the dual pulley 93 octane tune from Integrated Engineering can handle and what it can put down in terms of performance. Thank you all for watching, everyone, and until next time, take care.